Chapter 19. The Tremor Before Dawn. Askastrad stirred long before the sun reached the horizon. Its towers flickered with early warning lights, patrol craft swept the sky in arcing lines, and the drone of distant engines vibrated faintly through the reinforced walls of the Medwing. Briar woke to that noise, heart thudding too fast, lungs tight from another nightmare he couldn't outrun. He rubbed at his forehead, feeling the sheen of sweat across his temple. Each night since the Strider encounter blurred into fragments of panic and flashes of violet. He blinked several times until the room steadied. His chest still hurt. His shoulder still ached. And the inhibitor over his collarbone burned faintly, as if remembering what he'd tried to force through it. A familiar voice drifted from outside the door, clipped and irritated. Halen, orders, briefings, something about scanning anomalies outside the southern perimeter. Then another voice, lighter, teasing, someone he didn't recognize, recruits gathering early, recruits he wasn't among. He hated the feeling. He swung his legs over the side of the bed, wincing as pain shot up his ribs. He pressed a hand to the bandages, breathing through it slowly until he could stand. The medbay bots wordlessly adjusted their scans as he moved, one flashing red as it detected his elevated stress level. "Yeah," Briar muttered. "Get used to it." He pulled on his fatigues, movements stiff and uneven, then stepped out into the hallway, only to nearly collide with Garrick. The captain in the wheelchair stopped instantly, brow rising. His sharp gaze skimmed Briar from head to toe, quickly assessing the injuries, the posture, the exhaustion. "You're supposed to be resting," Garrick said. "So are you," Briar replied. Garrick snorted. "I'm not the one who nearly blew his own chest open last night." Heat flushed Briar's neck. "You heard about that." "Everyone did. When a Genesis inhibitor screams at 3 a.m, the whole wing knows." Garrick folded his arms. "You trying to get yourself killed, or just making a statement?" "I'm trying to get stronger," Briar said quietly. Garrick studied him, then sighed. "Sit before you fall over." Reluctantly, Briar sat beside him on a low bench. "Tell me what happened," Garrick said. Briar flexed his fingers, the memory of last night still painfully sharp. "I tried to push, just enough to see if I could stabilize a channel. Instead, the inhibitor locked down and everything shut off." "And you thought that was a good idea?" "I thought I needed it," Briar whispered. "Everyone else is getting stronger. Kara, Korrin, even half the recruits. I'm still barely holding a beam longer than a few seconds. I'm tired of being the weak one." Garrick tapped one wheel lightly. "You're not weak, you're inexperienced. There's a difference. But if you keep forcing output you're not ready for, you will break something far more important than your ribs." Briar stared at the floor. "I don't know how to catch up." "You don't," Garrick said. "Not by rushing, and not by copying others. You grow slower because your potential is deeper. The higher the ceiling, the longer the climb." Briar swallowed. "So what do I do?" "For now," Garrick nodded at the walkway. "You walk slowly, then we'll worry about the rest." He didn't argue. Briar stood and began packing the corridor slowly, each step reminding him that his body wasn't ready yet. Garrick watched him without judgment, the quiet between them strangely calming. After several minutes, Lyra approached from the far end of the hall, her pace brisk, her eyes alert. She carried a datapad under one arm and looked like she hadn't slept any better than Briar. "There you are," she said, breath quickening. "Halen's been looking for you." Briar blinked. "For me?" "Your squad is being reassigned to urban defense rotation. We move to the southern districts within the hour." His stomach twisted. "You can't be serious, I'm not cleared." "You are now," Lyra said. "The doctors want you monitored, but command needs bodies. Ion skirmishes hit the coastal cities this morning. They're expecting more." Garrick gave Briar a knowing look. "Welcome back to the war." Lyra motioned him forward. "Come on, we need to prep." He followed, heart pounding, part dread, part determination. The lifts carried them down into Askastrad's preparation wing, where recruits strapped armor plates into place, fastened energy packs to their suits, and loaded pulse rifles with steady hands. Sparks flew from repair bays. The smell of oil and charged plasma filled the air. Kara stood near her squad locker with Korrin Dane. She looked at Briar when he entered, but her expression didn't soften. It didn't harden either. It was neutral, cold, detached. Briar's chest tightened. Lyra nudged him. Ignore her. She's not important right now. But she was, too much. Before Briar could think further, Halen stepped into the center of the room. We've detected 3 ion incursions across the southern districts. Not full attacks, scouting parties. Testing our response times. We can't let them gain ground. Screens lit up behind him, displaying images. Burning rooftops, collapsed transit rails, evac pods lifting civilians away from red-lit streets. This is not the wasteland, Halen continued. This is civilization, protect it. Recruits dispersed into teams. Lyra gripped Briar's shoulder. Stay by me, no solo heroics. He nodded. The dropship engines roared. Minutes later they were in the air, flying over a sprawling metallic cityscape, neon lights flickering, grav lanes poolsing with traffic, distant fires casting orange glow through the mist. The dropship descended into chaos. Ions moved along rooftops like shadows, faster, sharper, coordinated. Not elite striders, but more aggressive than the scouts Briar remembered. Pulse fire arced across the street as human defenders tried to hold them back. Briar's squad poured out of the ship. He hit the ground hard, ribs screaming, but he kept moving. Lyra led, firing controlled bursts, her focus unshakable. Briar took cover behind a collapsed sign panel as Ion soldiers advanced, dark armor catching the glow of burning lights. He raised his hand and fired. A weak, wavering burst. It hit one Ion square in the chest. It staggered, then kept coming. Kara leapt forward, her blade igniting, slicing into the Ion's arm before driving the hilt into its helmet. It fell. She didn't look at Briar. Lyra's voice shouted over the comms. They're regrouping on the rail platform. Briar ran, breath ragged. He pushed out another blast, this one too wide, scattering harmlessly across metal. Pain shot through his arm. He was falling behind, again. As more Ions dropped in from above, cutting through defenders, Briar felt the weight of everything closing on him. The world, the mission, the expectations. A tremor rolled beneath the ground. A deep, shuddering vibration. Lyra stiffened. Did you feel that? Briar swallowed hard. Yeah. Another tremor followed, stronger, deeper, as if something massive shifted far below the surface. Ions paused, their heads tilting in eerie unison, sensing it too. The tremor stopped. For a few seconds, the entire city fell silent. Then the Ions retreated, fast, organized, disappearing into shadowed alleys and rooftops, leaving confusion and burning wreckage behind. Lyra exchanged a tense look with Briar. That wasn't an attack pattern, that was a reaction. Something underground had spooked them. Something big. Briar looked across the broken streets, the fires, the fatting glow of ion propulsion trails. Something was changing. Something rising. And whatever it was, it wanted them alive. He felt it deep in his ribs, like a tremor moving through him from below the earth.